Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host Siren Frost, and I know it's been a a very, very, very long time since I last did a deck profile video. I think ever since I finally got done with Eugene and Barrow Magnus decks that I've been trying to work on, I think I might have just taken the time just to cope with some things, personal stuff. My birthday came last week on Friday the 13th, so I'm officially 33 years old. God, I am old. Fuck. And then life kind of got to me a little bit ever since then, and yesterday I had to spend a shit ton of money on some 4 new tires for my car because the treads were starting to get really bad. But to make up for the lost time, I finally did this series that I'm going to be trying to start doing more often, because it is a little bit exciting. Shout out to... Oh, for fuck's sake, my phone just turned off. Damn it. Hold on. Okay. This is a shout out to Kingsville Villarreal. If I pronounce that last name wrong, I'm so sorry. But we're going to call it Kingsville. For short. He gave me this idea on doing a deck profile video, but on a budget version. More of a cheaper build. And just a few minutes ago, because I was very lazy, I didn't really have the time to look at the prices of each card. But you can basically make this deck out of like the trial decks from Megumi Agora, or you know, from the leftover set 1, 2s and stuff. I know that the perfect guards are going to be a little up there, but there's always alternatives to make this deck affordable, but also very good in games. So depending on which variant and the build you want to go with, I think I found a build that's perfect for anything. It may now, the prices on some of these cards are a little bit ridiculous, but they might be affordable for your price range. I mean, because let's face it, guys. Like, as we get older, we have a lot more important things to do with our money. Like, we might be getting a new house, a new apartment, raising a family. Animals are expensive too. Like, I'm sorry, but they really are expensive. My dog's a fucking beast when it comes to dog chow, which is fucking stupid. But, and also cars, loans, you know, paying people back. I know what that's like. I'm going through that myself personally. But I do try to take the time to find some cards for my decks, and I do eventually pay off a certain amount in time. So that's all you can do in life, you know? Like, we're just adulting, you know? We can only do so much. We're not rich like most people are nowadays. Fucking dickheads. So, here's my version of the Magnolia deck. It's the more cheaper build, I think, after looking at some of these prices on TCG, which I'm like, girl, why are most of these so damn expensive? And then I realized Magnolia Elder is one of the few best decks out there. People may not see it, maybe they don't want to care about it, but people are more about Orphis and Gravidia and Nirvana and all that high jazz. And most of them are into like the V Premium sets, which I miss doing that series on the V Premium sets, but whatever, shit happens, right? Alright, so I did try to find a challenge, to make a challenge for this video. A challenge. Now, I know most decks are very high up there, like very luxurious, around $300 or $500 if you can splurge some money into it. But for some people, like Kingsville, he's from the Philippines. He's a Filipino card fighter, which for me it's awfully rare because I've never heard such a thing. Not to sound rude, like, no offense, Kingsville, but I just did not know. It was never on my radar at the time, which I know I heard about France. I heard about in the eastern area where most of the card fighters are. So it's interesting to hear that I hear about a Filipino card fighter. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I didn't know. Like, I call me stupid, but I did not really know. But yeah, he asked me in request to do a series for budget players. Like I was saying, like, we all have our lives to live, and money's kind of hard to tight right now, apparently. So he asked me to do 2 decks for him, maybe as a test sample, maybe as an idea. And he showed me his build on Bruce, which I might do my own version of Bruce later on, probably. But that's a long story short, you guys. But anyway, shout out to you, Kingsville, for making this happen for me. This is gonna be a fun challenge. But the price range I was gonna go for this video was to become like $50 or less. That was my little goal. But after doing the prices on both market price and the lowest price, I think it's kind of funny to say that this deck is the most cheapest one you can actually get in this variant. And like I said, it's not gonna be a big of a deal. I'll put all the listing of the prices in the description box down below next to our cards, and the quantity of the number of cards you want to get, or maybe what's probably a little better for your price range a bit. So, with that being said and done, let's get on the deck profile. So, the deck build I did go for is Magnolia, but it's more of a grade 2 rush kind of thing. Like, it reminds me of like Brutal Jack or Nova Grappler's All the Rush, and All the Rush, pretty much. Okay, so we're going for our ride deck. This is Lotte. Grade 1 is, of course, Charis. Grade 2 is Lattice. And the one we have here is Magnolia. So, this is your typical ride line for the Stoicheia Magnolia build. I know a lot of people want to use the Ranker Chain series for the drop zone, pretty much, because Zorga and Magnolia have one thing in common. They both use the drop zone maybe once in a while. But Zorga uses more of the drop than Magnolia does. Pretty much. But yeah, this is your typical ride line. Nothing too major about this. And it's something that I would still be using right now in my build as well. So that is that variant. Or not the variant. Ride line. God, I'm tired as fuck. Now, for trigger lineup, this is going to be a tad bit different for some of y'all. Now, in my build, I usually play 4 fronts, 7 crits, 1 over trigger, and 4 heals. But in this build, it's going to be a tad bit different. There's no fronts in here because the front trigger is probably a little bit ridiculous pricing right now, and it's pretty damn, like, up there. Kind of. But for triggers, we're going for I'm going to butcher his name. Ziatorog. 4 copies of the draw trigger, Serene, Maiden, and Lena. Now, she has the same ability as the front triggers usually do. So, she's a 10k shield bearer by herself. As long as you control a grade 3 or your opponent controls a grade 3, she becomes a 10k extra shield, so she's added more power to herself. And plus, I think Magnolia does more draws than anything, and it's best to try him out with more of an aggressive front. No pun intended on the front triggers. So yeah, Lena's a very good choice of option. I do like her very much so. But then again, my deck was Neo Nectars, and that was all Maidens. So, Maidens still have a place in me heart. Pretty much. Now, I am playing 7 crits in this deck. So, I'm playing 4 of the Jackalopes. And when I saw the pricing on Jackalope, I was a little bit shell-shocked that it's around 19 cents for lower as possible, while in market price they're asking for $1.50. So that's when I'm like, oh, okay, that's that's a whole new ball game. And next, of course, we're playing 3 copies of Abyss Temptation. So you want to hit your opponent as hard as you can. Like, I did say this deck was going to be like more of a affordable price, but can it actually really hit in the tournament scene? Probably not, but it's always worth to give it a try and give it a chance to see what your idea is compared to my other ones, because I'm not the only one who has a different idea on decks. It's just people have more of a competitive mindset more than I did. So, for me, it's not always about luxurious cards or anything luxurious for that matter, but for me, I grew up being a luxury bougie ass bitch. So that's my lane, and I tend to stay in it for as long as I can until I die. But it's nice, and it's an honor and a privilege to help the other players who can't really afford much. And, people call them like they're poor people, but I call them like people who are in just precarious situations. Like, and sometimes people get a bad rep, but there's no bad reps around here. And finally, for over triggered, we're using the generic one you get from the start deck. So you basically make this deck from the start deck. Maybe get like 4 probably of each, 4 of each if you want, just to get the triple R Magnolia. But if you want to go for a cheaper build, the common ones are still good too. But yeah, he's your typical over trigger. He gives your unit 100 million power into the end of turn, so that's not too bad. Because I know that the Blast Feather is up there, and I know we want the best deck out there, but it's hard to build a good deck, especially with the cards that you've been given to you a little bit, especially if your locals, I mean, no offense, Kingsville, but it seemed like your locals really did not want to help you that much. But, you know, it's always nice to help your opponent, not your opponent, help your fellow players out, so to speak. But yeah, you guys, that is my trigger lineup for the deck. Now, for grade 1s, I'm using only 8 grade 1s, because the build I'm going for tends to be more grade 2 heavy rush. Yes. So we do have this little guy here, this Sylvan Horn Beast, Alvan, from Alvan and Chipmunks. So I guess Alvan retired from music and became a Sylvan Horn Beast. So that's why he's here. So he said fuck you to his brothers and his father and joined the Sylvans. This one's a cute little guy, but its ability caught my eyes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I had a second opinion about this before. When it says back row rear guard, it still will activate an ability, I believe, but it cannot attack in the back row. Which is kind of weird, because I thought, you know, if they can attack from the back row, if it says the word back row, I would kind of figure you'd be attacking, you know, unless I missed something here. But here, so back row rear guard, during the turn that this unit attacked, when your opponent would call cards from their hands to the Guardian Circle, they must call 2 or more at the same time. So this is going to help you do a little bit of a rush for your opponent, and they'll have no choice but to guard with more than 1 card, with 2 or more cards, if they wanted to get through. They won't have a choice. So that's kind of why he's in here, because it reduces your opponent's hands a little bit more, making him forced to guard. Quiet, Philistine. And then finally, since the perfect guard for Prevent Dragon is kind of up there a little bit pricey, depending on how many quantities you want to get, I decided to go with the start deck, trial deck 1, which is Hopeful Maiden Alejandra, just for the start of it. It still acts as a good guard. Unfortunately, it doesn't get the nice little ability treatments from the other one. But all you have to do for this one is discard a card from your hand and just, complete guard that like crazy. So it's not that big of a deal. Anything it can help you with the deck and help you with the games later on. And keep in mind, you guys, and this is from me, from personal experience, save your perfect guards when it's actually very crucial in the game. Not just show it out there because you want to defend your damage. Just think strategically on that one. Now for grade 2s, you're all going to laugh at me for this, because I am literally playing 19 grade 2s in this deck. Literally 19. This is a lot more that I actually use, but there are some cards in here that can actually work better. So, no biggie. So, for the first one we'll be doing is for Pantheros. He is an exclusive Magnolia card, and for a reason. When this unit is placed on rearguard, Soul Blast 1. Choose a Sylvan Horn Beast Panthero from your drop zone and call it to an open rearguard. When this unit attacks, if your Vanguard has Magnolia with Magnolia in the name, with Magnolia in its name, gets 5,000 power in that battle. So, here's the thing, you guys. I think this is what was kind of misconstrued on some things. Now, there are certain units in this build that contain Sylvan Horn Beast King Magnolia, which is only strict for Beast King Magnolia. While there are some like this one that has only Magnolia in the name, it doesn't matter if it's Magnolia Beast King or Magnolia Elder. As long as they have Magnolia in the name, it's fine. And people have their weird opinion about it, but then again, it's trolls. People are never usually happy with change nowadays. Next, I'm playing 3 Sylvan Horn Beasts Enbarrs. Again, another Magnolia card. Next, for generic ones, we're playing 4 Limbers. For Reno Bear. And 4 Gabreggs. And I know Gabregg is part of the Magnolia set, or the deck itself, but the other 2 are most certainly not. But I do like their abilities. Gabregg is just a staple in some Magnolia decks, so there's not really much to say about him. But the other 2 caught my eye. The 2 rhinos. Basically, Reno Bear has an ability. All your other units in the same column as this unit gets boost. So it doesn't matter if this guy can't attack. He's good for boosting. So he'd be a 9k booster all on his own. And same with Gabregg. Gabregg is a 10k beat stick. So if he boosts, or vice versa, they're very versatile kind of creatures apparently. Reno Bear will just boost them up, give the power to boost. So it's not really a big of a deal. Like, either way, your grade 2s are going to get hitting hard. You're hitting big numbers, literally. So, yes, that is what I think what the deck should be. And also, the Rhino in here is just, has a back row rear guard ability. All your back row rear guards get 2,000 power, and this unit included. So you have 3 of these guys on the field. They each gain 6,000 power. Again, more power, more pressure. Get the game as fast as you can kind of thing. Because this is wild animals we're talking about here. They're animals. So that's why they're in there. Oh, right. And then finally, of course, it can't be a Magnolia deck without 3 copies of Magnolia. That's it. That's pretty much all it. I know you're all probably thinking, like, are you serious? If you really do think I'm full of shit, give this deck a try and give it a whirl. There's not much I can really say. Although I will say this, just in advance, you can always try to pick up one of these cute little kitties right here. This is a Magnolia card too. But its skill is, when its unit is placed on rear guard, if your Vanguard is Sylvan Horn Beast Magnolia, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your rear guards, and at the end of turn, that unit can attack from the back row and gets 5,000 power. When this unit is chosen by your Vanguard's effect, this unit gets 5,000 power in a turn. Oh, shit. Okay. That's good. But yeah. I have a friend who's interested in getting 3 of these, so this is for him. But she's a good option, too. It's not gonna... She's a very cheap card, like around 45 cents. That's the lowest one they can go for. I don't know how the oldest one is. But that's all I kind of say. But yeah, you guys, that is the conclusion deck profile video for my budget series, starting with Beast Key Magnolia. I'm actually looking forward to doing more of this, and later on, I'm going to start doing the Lyrical Monasterio as well. It's going to be the Kari version, the cheaper one that I can do, and see how that's going to go. But I have plans today, so I got to get going. Maybe later on I'll do that video and then do the prices later. But I hope you guys have a good day, make good choices, and I'll see you guys next video. I'm your host, Siren Frost, signing out.